Hello, Hope family. I have two things I just want to quickly talk about that I'm really excited about. One is Sunday we have baptisms, and I want to say this real quick. You have a huge role in when we do church, when we show up and we gather on Sundays and we worship. I mean, I don't know if you know this or believe this or can understand this. Maybe, you guys are smart people. I know you can understand this, but my goodness, you showing up and you being you, bringing joy, bringing your purpose, bringing your gifts, bringing your prayers, bringing your expectation for God to do some great things in people's lives, that makes a difference. When you show up on a Sunday morning, that makes a difference. Even if you may be saying, well, I'm a quiet person, or I'm I don't know, I'm an introvert. It makes a difference when you show up. Why? Because you're bringing faith. You're part of the body. It'd be like, I'm going to go to the store, but I'm not going to take my arm with me today. I'm just going to take the rest of my body, but my arm isn't going to be there. Like when you show up, it makes a difference. And I want to encourage you to keep showing up on Sundays. Keep showing up. Not just people can show up, but you could be like walking around like this, like look. This side of my face isn't working because these muscles in here weren't working. They decide not to they're here, but not really here. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I really want to continue to encourage you to show up fullness of mind and fullness of heart when you're here. And so I'm really excited for this Sunday as people show up to be baptized, that you be praying for these people. So often people get baptized and then we just kind of let them go and they go on. And then we, like, the leadership we're trying to continue to move ministry forward, but then these people are kind of just left aside, not knowing what to do next. And so I want us to partner together. Like, let's not just leave people once they're baptized. That's the beginning. When you give your life to Jesus, that's the beginning of your journey with God. And so we got to help the rest of the body, help the rest of us help these people as they grow in Jesus. Will you help me with that, please? So I'm super stoked about this Sunday. Please be praying for these people that are going to be baptized on Sunday. And then the other thing is just a reminder, something coming up in this June through August, up until September. The Escobar family, we're going to be gone. We're not going to be here. We're going on sabbatical. It's not some long vacation. Some people think the sabbaticals are a long vacation. No, I'm going to let God do some work in here and in here. It's good for pastors to get away. You don't want them to get burnt out. I'm feeling a little crispy, but man, I love God. I love you guys. I love what God is doing in us and through us. And I just want to continue to pray over some of those things. He's got work to do in me. He's got work to do in all of us. But as a pastor, as a leader, I want to stay healthy. And he does have some work, man. I've been, just wrestling with some things. It was great. Julian, this past week, we were talking about how I grew up, and he asked me some questions, and he's like, man, I'm so glad that you don't have a bad life anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a good life. He goes, he says, Daddy, I'm glad I have a good life. And I said, man, thank you. I'm so glad that we can provide a good life for you. And then he said, I'm really glad that you have a good life now too. And I go, thank you, buddy. He goes, well, I think you have a good life. And I go, why do you think I have a good life? Well, he goes, I don't know. He says, I don't know if you're struggling with something that you haven't told us about. I don't know if if you have any secrets. Is it everything okay with you, Dad? And my 10-year-old asked me this. And I'm like, my gosh, that so blessed my heart that my 10-year-old would risk something like that would be observant enough to ask, that would be, inquisitive and curious enough to ask. That's such a blessing. And we talked about how good that was that he asked. And I did tell him, I said, son, I'm walking through depression. I think there's some things that from my life, from growing up, that I haven't processed, and it's catching up. And I think our little car wreck that we had back in January kind of triggered some trauma, and I'm trying to figure that stuff out. So I've been walking through depression. And he said, what is depressed mean that you're always sad? And I go, yeah, I get little moments like that, and it affects other things, but we're going to work through it. God is good, and we're going to work through it. And so it was just really good to have him ask me those questions. And so as we walk through this next season, man, I know that He's gonna show up in those areas. So anyway, be praying about those things. If you have any more questions about the sabbatical, if you have any more of that stuff that's questions about the summer, let us know. We've got a plan. It's not just I'm going to be gone and we didn't set up a plan. We set up a plan. Pastor Bob and I, the whole team, they're going to be ready to do some great things here during the summer. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.